Hello there, it's Anastasia here from Anastasia Creates. I am about to create a little treasure box of sorts. My little sister recently gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and I made her an album using the Little One collection. And I wanted to create a little keepsake box for her using the same papers. And so here we are. And I'm both using 12 by 12 and 8 by 8 papers. So I decided to use this pink pattern at the front of the box. And I decided to use a 12 by 12 because I will be wasting so much 8 by 8 paper. And since the pattern is quite delicate, it should not matter. I just start by measuring the box I'm going to use. I'm not being too precise about the measurements per se. I'm just measuring to make sure that I have at least 1/8 of a frame around the paper itself. Then I'm inking all the edges of the pattern papers using a vintage photo distress ink, and then I add double-sided adhesive to the back, and I'm using strong adhesive because I want this to be quite durable. Not that it's going to be used that much, but I want to make sure that everything stays put. So if little hands get into it, it does not matter. And like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that the adhesive goes all over, so there will be no accidents, really. And then I'm just peeling the backing of my adhesive, and I'm pulling it at an angle. This is one way of adding pattern paper that you have really strong adhesive on, is to fold them sideways so that you can use one side of the paper, push it down, and then just release the backing, and it should all fall in place. Now this is of course not necessary in any way, shape or form, but I just wanted to mention this is one way of adding that stickiness without getting it all stuck in the wrong place in the first place. But of course, we all do what we prefer doing, and that's just fantastic. That's how we should do it anyway. And like I said here, I'm just taking everything off and eyeballing it. I usually just do the eyeball method. Seems to be my preferred one. And now that it's all stuck there, and now I pick another 12 by 12 paper to cut and ink, and that is going to the outside of the box itself within the box. That makes sense, right? Anyway, I use that for the outside edges of the box itself. And I use different kinds of pattern paper because I just love all these beautiful soft colors, and I want to make use of all the pretty pattern paper in my stash. And then I'm on to the inside of the box, and I do the same thing regarding every little piece. I'm just making sure that I have at least 1/8 of a frame, basically that my pattern paper doesn't cover the whole thing. And here I used 8 by 8 papers because I wanted to be able to show some of the pretty images there. And that was my cat, Catra. She does like to stay in the spotlight. Now I'm just putting pattern paper on the inside of the box, and even though the box will be closed most of the time, I wanted to give the option of being able to keep it completely shut. So I cut a ribbon from the natural color collection, I think there is. I have links for everything down below. And I just eyeballed again the measurement of the ribbon, and I'm just putting adhesive centered-ish of the box, and I am sticking the ribbons onto the box itself before I add the patterned paper. That way the ribbon is stuck there and you don't see it. I really like that, to have that option of closing it. I was thinking about if I should like have a magnet closure or something like that, but no, I decided to keep this very simple and sweet, and I do love ribbon, so I used ribbon. And I just put adhesive where the ribbon is, and then on top of it as well, just to make sure that nothing is moving when it is in use. And that is where strong adhesive is your best friend. And I stuck the ribbon, and I'm just putting the paper to cover that seam of sort. And I always just burnish with my bone folder, just to make sure that the adhesive is really stuck on there. There is no air bubbles or anything that could make this a bit flimsy, or at least I hope so. Better be safe than sorry, I guess. And I'm doing that same thing with the inside of the lid. I just love that pattern paper that I'm using here. Those balloons and cradles, oh, adorable. And I'll just put that down. And now you don't see that little seam that the ribbon leaves behind, really. And that's the basics done. Now it's just decorating and having fun. Just making sure they can actually close the box. Not trying to do anything fancy, just making sure that it works. And yeah, like I said, the basic stuff is finished, and all you have to do now is add embellishments. And I picked the roses from Graphic 45. I absolutely love these. These are so beautiful, fluffy, and oh, gorgeous. And I'm using liquid adhesive to stick these down. You can use whatever you want, just something that you trust. And since it's going to be sitting there in the corner, I do push the roses in place for quite some time, just to make sure that everything is going to stay in place when I let go. It might take a little bit of time, depends on your liquid glue, I guess. You could of course use heat glue, hot glue, not heat glue, hot glue. But I prefer this. Now, I don't mind pushing these in place and just doing nothing for a little bit. That's always good for the mind. And I added 2 more smaller ones as well, so I have 3 flowers in each corner. And now I need to decorate the front. And I wanted to keep it quite simple, not to be too bulky, because I want my sister to be able to store this in a shelf or drawer, however she wants it to be. So I was just picking out some of the ephemera. That is the hardest part, picking the ones, because they all look so pretty. But I managed. And I will ink every piece with my distress ink as well, just to make sure that everything is in the same, well, looks the same really. And so these 2 are going to be on the front of the lid, and I'm adding foam adhesive on the back to raise it a little bit. And as you can see, I was planning on using this before, actually, when I made the album, but I decided not to, so it has some extra foam on the back, and that's all right. Foam is fun. And I just stick these to the front, place them where I think they look pretty, really. No rhyme or reason, just, again, eyeballing. Just what feels right, and stick to that, really. And now when that is all put in place, I wanted to add a bit of shine as well. So I used these iridescent drops from Pinkfresh Studio, and I'm just putting them here or there. No rhyme or reason. I usually go for 3 at a time, but that is not something that I have to do. I don't know, I just always gravitate towards 3 drops at the same spot, but then I usually can't help myself and add more and more, because, well, sparkliness is so pretty, I cannot stop. And I just use liquid adhesive to stick these to the box. And these are so simple, they add so much with minimal effort, and they don't take away from the images on the box or make it a bit too busy or anything like that. I love that with these tiny drops and rhinestones and sequins. Love that bit. Always handy to have, and a great excuse to buy more pretty sparkly things. At least I use that to justify any purchase. And I decided to add these same pretty pearls to the inside of the box, because why not? It's pretty and it's sparkly, so I did. And I wanted to put something on the inside of the box as well, so I used 2 of the Ephemera images to create a little tuck spot on the inside. I just wanted to add a tiny bit more, but not make it anything bulky, so that it wouldn't like stick to anything that was be on the inside of the box itself. So I'm just sticking these 2 together, and then I'm just putting adhesive on the bottom of that image, so that you can put a photo behind or any kind of memorabilia wherever you want. It will stay put there as long as it's really light. It doesn't hold like loads of photos, but a tiny bit of thing. And that's the box done. I really like how it looks, and those pearls really add so much to the final image, and the ribbon works great. Now the box comes with these 3 tags and the ring, so I used the coordinating die to cut these pattern papers out and added a bit of smaller images from the Ephemera pack on the back. And that is the whole project. I just really like it, and I hope my sister will too. So thanks so much for watching. See you later. Bye.